you decide you want to do, I take music or entertainment a little bit
Yeah,
more?
I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to do music. So I went in and I was doing music. I started doing music. I got with S-Dog. I got producer. I found people. I just start, you know what I'm saying, getting into it. And throughout being with Raz and meeting so many people, I had new people in the industry. You know what I'm saying? By that time, people that was close to being in the industry and people that was all the way in the industry. So I just put myself in there somewhere and ended up in rap groups and all of that kind of stuff. Even out my neighborhood, I ended up being in a rap group out of my neighborhood and working with a guy out of my neighborhood named Wino. Shout out to Wino. Yeah, he's from my neighborhood, and he was a Coolio that just passed away, the late great Coolio, Gangsta's Paradise and County Line. Wino is the guy that produced County Line. Or was it Fantastic Voyage or County Line? I think it was County Line. One of them, but he was cool, one of Coolio's producers, and he was from my hood, like an OG from East Coast. He's from my hood. So to, be able to work with a person like that as a kid, he was a celebrity for me and a hood celebrity for me as a kid. So I was working with Wino, trying to get somewhere. We ended up not getting a deal. But then that I ended up through another channel working with DJ Pooh, which it became my mentor. And that's the person that put me in my first movie, in Three Strikes, a movie he wrote. DJ Pooh, for people that's not familiar, that's Red from Friday. They got knocked the fuck out. That had his grandma chain. He's the one that created Friday. He created the characters for the original Friday. He created the screenplay. He wrote all that funny shit. Felicia and all those people we love, he created those people from him and a couple people he had around, those great minds. And I didn't have the pleasure to be around when they created Friday, but I was around when he created Three Strikes, the movie. So I was like a student under DJ Pooh at that time when he created Three Strikes. I ran around with Razzcast for maybe like 3 years. I was maybe like 19 years old. And I was a student of DJ Pooh's. Used to be in the studio with the likes of like Snoop Dogg for 2 days straight. And while he's recording, and Charlie Wilson and all of the Dog Pound and all of those great West Coast people, Mac 10 and Dr. Dre would come through there, and different people would come and check on DJ Pooh or do business with DJ Pooh because he was a West Coast, he is a West Coast icon. You know what I'm saying? So I was like studying up under a West Coast icon at the time. You know what I'm saying? And then he ended up asking me one day, man, you want to get in this movie we writing? Well, I'm in the studio trying to do some music and write to some shit. He like, you want to get in this movie? And I was still young, so I was like, man, hell no, nigga, I ain't finna be in no movie before I put out a song, nigga, an album, nigga, because they gonna think I ain't real. Like, they ain't finna treat me like I'm some actor. That's back in the day. See, when I was young, the people used to treat the actors that used to rap like they wasn't real street niggas because they was actors. They faking because they actors. And then we looked at the rappers like they the real street niggas. They the ones that's come from the streets. They us. And actors, they just on TV. So it wasn't really cool to be an actor for me when I was 14, 15. You want to be a rapper. And if you a good enough rapper and they start putting you in movies, then you go in it that way. That's how rappers would be in movies back then. Like, you know what I'm saying? They would get put in the movie because they're a big rapper. So I told DJ Pooh, I was like, hey, like, nah, I don't want to be in no movie before I drop some shit. Like, let's get me together and get me out there. And then he's like, well, what about, it's my movie. I'm doing the soundtrack. What about if I put you in the movie and put you on the soundtrack at the same time they get released together? He's just a grown man telling a young man something that I couldn't argue with. Like, that shit make a lot of sense. I never thought about it like that. All right, run it. So he put me in my first movie and put me on I ain't gonna say my first real record because I think my first real record was with Ira Dorsey from the Dayton Family, Bootleg. But anyway, yeah, that's how I get to that point. Through the streets of LA, through gangbanging with Razzcast to DJ Pooh into the movies. Now I'm on Paramount Pictures backlot. The big boy shit. You feel me? Like, oh, action type shit. You feel me? 7 days and played Bleu in that motherfucker. They making memes about that scene right now. And that was in 98 or something we filmed that shit.
And now you're doing movies, you got your music going, and at some point you meet Big Meech and everybody, and how does all that happen?
While I'm there with DJ Pooh, and I'm working with him, not actually physically there when the situation happened, but somewhere along the way, DJ Pooh met Meech through another guy named Wayne that he was doing a record label with at the time called Stomping Ground Entertainment. So they actually, from my understanding, they went to DJ Pooh to try to get DJ Pooh to help them with the label. And DJ Pooh was writing the movie at the time. He didn't really have the time to help them. And he put me with them. And I was there as a liaison, and he was like, look, sign Bleu. Bleu know how to do all that shit. They ain't really know too much about the music industry. They ain't know nothing about the music industry, actually. But he like, look, sign Bleu. He know how to do all that shit. He'll get y'all through all that shit. Give him a little check. He be the artist, and he can run all that shit. So I came in there, started making logos and doing photo shoots for myself and running around with Baba. Used to run me around for the record label or whatever. And Meech didn't really, or T, they didn't take part in no operations for the record label. They just like pull up the bread type shit. You know what I'm saying? And then that shit ended up going defunct. So once that label went defunct, we didn't have no label. And then in like 2001, we established BMF Entertainment Incorporated. And that's when BMF Entertainment Incorporated became a thing with a logo and and marketing behind like a company and not just something that people saying on the streets.
What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon, so hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.